To the complainers out there, if you kind of want it, you'll kind of see results. If you're not where you want to be in life, maybe it's because you're too comfortable in your little bubble and you're afraid to shake shit up like I used to be. The Perspective Podcast is fuel for your mind and creative grind. Each week, my guests and I provide the skills for thinking bigger, overcoming adversity, and making an impact with your work. What's going on? You're listening to episode 182 of the Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Scotty.D.Russell of Perspective Collective, and my mission is to help you grow a fulfilling, profitable, and sustainable creative side hustle. At the end of each episode, I plug a listener of the week, so stick around to figure out how you can get a permanent shout out on a future episode. And applications for the 3-month fall 2020 Side Hustlers Coaching Program are now live over at sidehustlerscoaching.com. We're in the thick of the worldwide public enrollment, and registration closes this Sunday, August 30th at midnight Central Time. Roster spots are extremely limited, and as of recording this, there are only half of the 12 slots are available as we officially kick off the program September 7th through November 29th. If you're ready to make a massive commitment to tapping into the side hustle growth you've always felt was out of reach, then act now to learn more and apply again over at sidehustlerscoaching.com. The good news is that if you don't get in this time around or you apply late, applying just now at all bumps your name up the list for first dibs once the spring 2021 program opens. So still apply at sidehustlerscoaching.com. You have nothing to lose, only everything to gain in terms of creative breakthroughs with what you're doing right now with your side hustle pursuits. So today, I want to lead off with a powerful quote that I'm almost positive came from Thomas Jefferson stating, "If you want something you never had, you have to be willing to do something you've never done." And I first heard this during my college football days, and it was a theme I used for my clients in my short year of personal training at Snap Fitness. This quote has stuck with me over the years as I grew my creative business, and it still holds true today. But it's funny that most people say they want something, yet they back it up with little to no action. These are the same people, the same victims who complain that, "Man, I could never catch a break," or "the world is always out to get me," or the third one that I hear a lot is, "Everyone else seems to be winning at life but me." Engaging with these type of people frustrates the shit out of me. And I can say that because this is how I operated for easily 20 plus years of my life. So I understand where they're coming from. Totally get it. But shit changed for me when I changed. When I stopped playing the victim and started taking control of my circumstances, big breaks started to come my way. The ball started bouncing my way. Everything is about mindset, a mental shift, and whether you think you can or can't do something always happens between your ears. It's all in your mind. Most students I work with dream of taking their side hustle to a full-time venture. All right, that's the trajectory they want to follow. Regardless, if you don't want to make your side hustle a full-time pursuit or not, maybe you're that unicorn who loves the day job you're in, that's okay. What we're talking about today will still be relevant to your side hustle pursuits and just life in general. The Blaze Your Own Path series is all about breeding a pro mindset and taking massive, uncomfortable action. You can read this one in a blog fashion format by visiting perspective-collective.com/182. Please do me a favor. It's because of you that the show keeps growing. So if you found value in this episode or this series, spread the good word. Share a screenshot or a video of you listening or working to this in the background. Tag me on Instagram stories so we can connect and I can reshare the love back and get some more eyes on your account or your work. As always, keep an open mind and act on anything that inspires you today. Let's go. Let's lead it off with a professional mindset equals a mental edge. And to me, a pro mindset is all about doing the hard shit most people refuse to do to achieve the results you want despite circumstances or adversity. Rewind that, listen to it again if you need to, but that's what it's all about to me. And for example, when I played and coached football in college, the program that I was in, Wartburg College, really, really good program, solid program. Never been a part of a winning tradition until I went to college. But the program was all about breeding a professional mindset in us athletes. Student athletes, that was most important. They wanted to groom student athletes who got good grades and still crushed it on the football field and dominated. And this mindset slowly grew in me once I continued to show up to training camp for 2-a-day practices when it was 90 plus degrees outside. It slowly grew in me when I would show up to 5 a.m. intense workouts in the middle of a freezing Iowa winter. And you know how dark and cold it is. If you're from the Midwest in the middle of winter, it can get like negative 20 degrees outside, and I'm up walking my ass to the gym. So this mindset also grew in me when I was coaching, and I had those early morning film sessions at like 5:30 a.m. And then we had game plan meetings, and then I would run the scout team later in practice, and then I would head over to my night classes all in the same day. Eventually, this pro mindset shifted and carried over to my creative pursuits. And this is where I wanted to carry over for you too. So for me, what started as a hobby of drawing quickly transformed into something serious, strictly because I began taking myself more seriously. Regardless if others still saw this as a doodling hobby and would hit me up on the side and be like, hey, I see you like to draw a lot. You know, if you're interested, draw me up a couple concepts. I might get what you drew as a tattoo. Like I still remember when that shit used to happen. But this hobby, it then grew into a side hustle founded on the pillars of doing something I loved that I was actually good at, aka the sweet spot for 3 episodes in a row. Go to episode 11 if you want to learn more about that. But day in and day out, I treated Perspective Collective like it was my full-time job. Even when I was just posting consistently just pretty polished drawings on Instagram before blogging, podcasting, speaking, all of that. And from an outside perspective, this is funny. A lot of people in the creative community started to think this was actually my full-time job. They were surprised when I was like, no, I have a full-time day job. I work corporate as a UI UX designer. Well, I started off as a graphic designer and I pivoted to that. I saw an opportunity. And I became more transparent about me doing this as a side hustle. And I started sharing, how I would make time to pursue my side hustle outside my 9-to-5 and family life. And again, that's when things really started to click. That's the shit people wanted to hear and were attracted to. That connected people to me on an entirely different level because what I was doing was relatable. They wanted to pursue something similar on their own terms. And maybe that's why you listen to me or fuck with what I'm doing, is because what I talk about is relatable. I don't have a fancy art degree. I didn't have a great design school prestigious that I went to as well. It was just somebody who decided to make my dream happen in the middle of Iowa. And maybe that's why you listen. So to me, that's one of today's 2 main takeaways to manifest the type of side hustle results you want is 1, treat your side hustle like it's your full-time grind already. Let's talk about this one a little more in depth before we pivot to the second takeaway. So full-time grind mentality. To me, PC was my day job. It was a matter of time before reality aligned with my mindset. And I think that was the first time I ever heard that was from Sean West, and it's just stuck with me. In my mind, it's already happened. I'm just waiting for reality to catch up to what I'm already believing in myself. So having a day job was crucial for me to find success with my creative side business. I learned how to leverage my day job to fuel my dream job in terms of covering life expenses. My day job had me covered, so I could risk it for the biscuit outside of it. My day job allowed me to learn new skills on the company's dime, whether it was Adobe Creative Cloud training or social media marketing or copywriting, whatever it is. I could learn it on the company's dime. I could leverage my day job to travel to conferences. In 2015, my life changed when I went to Creative South for the first time. I pitched a proposal to my day job. They sent me over there. I took like a logo class, an icon class, and met with my community. And the next year I got to speak there. And it's all because I proposed it to my day job at the time. My day job allowed me to leverage new relationships, whether it was online in communities, through my day job, through conferences they sent me to, whatever it was, and these are still relationships that I don't want to say leverage. It's still relationships I can build on today and seek these people out for like advice if I'm caught in a rut. So last thing I learned how to leverage through my day job was just growing my confidence. By learning these new skills and showing up and breeding this pro mindset allowed me to grow within my day job and grow within my side hustle. And I should note, the skills I leveraged at my day job, I talk about stealing from your day job, learning new skills and leveraging it from your side hustle. The skills that I learned at my day job and the skills that I learned on my own time all benefited my day job as well. So it's like I wasn't a shitty employee. I went all out to be a great employee at where I was at. I don't half-ass anything. But working that 9-to-5 provided a stress-free environment to slowly find my grooves, take small risks, and not feel pressure to monetize my craft and burn out like we talked about in part 1 and part 2. And I rarely knew what I was doing in the early days of my side hustle. And some days I still don't know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm working towards. And I've just been relentless in figuring things out. I say yes, I figured out along the way, especially when I don't know what I'm doing. Because every time I hit another milestone on this path that I'm pursuing and blazing, the dream would get bigger, yet it would get more clear which would then make me even more hungry and persistent. And I'm a big believer is like once you catch a glimpse of what you're capable of, that pro mindset muscle only gets stronger. And that's when I jump on these one-on-one deep calls with potential students or just students in general in the program. Is like I give them a glimpse of what they're capable of and I get them hungry. And then I help them figure out a game plan to make shit happen on their own terms. And that pro mindset muscle is only going to get stronger when you put it to work as you begin to cultivate mental toughness by showing up when it's not convenient, making time to work on your dream, by taking risks and investing in yourself, by staying focused and attacking one thing at a time instead of Superman syndrome and trying to do it all. And most importantly, you cultivate mental toughness by being disciplined in a world full of distractions. The more you begin taking yourself more seriously, the more you'll breed this pro mentality. And as a byproduct, a special side effect, the world's going to start taking you more seriously as well. You start putting out what you want people to perceive you as, and slowly people will perceive you as you perceive yourself. The more you breed this mentality, the big break will come sooner than you expected, like it did for me. And for me, my big break was disguised behind a mountain of adversity and a potential tragedy when I unexpectedly was let go from my safe day job last November 2019. It was a beautiful disaster for all the right reasons. I wasn't ready to take the full-time leap, but 5.5 years of treating my side hustle like it was already my full-time grind prepared me to jump. Again, I wasn't ready, but I was prepared because of this mindset of treating this like it was my full-time grind already. So now that you know what having a pro mindset looks like and what it looked like for me and how it's led to big breakthroughs for me, it's time to cover the second massive takeaway, which is take massive, uncomfortable action. To the complainers out there, if you kind of want it, you'll kind of see results. If you're not where you want to be in life, maybe it's because you're too comfortable in your little bubble and you're afraid to shake shit up like I used to be. And if that's you, I'm sorry, but you can't get salty when your 70% effort didn't yield 110% results. You can't be salty about it. You can't complain. That's on you. Being salty, passive, and doing the same thing over and over again doesn't lead to rapid growth. It'll land you in the same exact spot you're in this time next year, most likely complaining about an algorithm or you're hating on other people's success instead of celebrating them. Is there something you want to do, but the fear of judgment, failure, or even success is holding you back? Is there? If so, I'm a big believer that fear is actually disguised as your intuition, which is nudging you toward the next version of yourself that you're supposed to become. It's a simple mind shift in viewing fear through the lens of excitement. Man, I'm really scared to do this, but actually maybe I'm just really excited to do this. And my logic in my brain is just trying to keep me safe. So if you have that urge to start blogging, vlogging, podcasting, or start your own YouTube channel, yet you're scared to give yourself a chance, well, view it as, instead of fear, maybe you're just excited to do these things and you're excited to give yourself a chance. Through my experience, those urges were just wrapped in fear. They're really the things that I wanted to do, I was excited to do, that I should have been doing to pursue the next level that I could tap into. So leverage that excitement versus fear, because a lot can happen in 1 year. I'm a walking testimonial of how much shit can happen year after year after year. Go back to listen to part 1. Just listen to a story of what's happened in 2020, just from 2019. Taking massive, uncomfortable action over and over again can spark that insane growth, especially when you just do things that make you scared. That's where you're going to deliver the most powerful value to the world. So sure, you're bound to fail along the way, but that's all a part of the process of blazing your own path to side hustle success. Let's wrap this up with mindset in action. So chasing your creative dream on your own terms isn't supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it, is what my coach in college would always say, which is why most people settle for the traditional route, that American dream, or what's comfortable, what's easy. Let's stay in our bubble. It's so easy to unplug after you punch out of the clock and just couch surfing shit that doesn't serve the bigger picture. It isn't productive. It doesn't put you on the path of where you want to be. But this isn't you, okay? Because you're listening to the podcast. And I know this. You want more. With this Blaze Your Own Path series, you've learned whatever you want to creatively accomplish is possible. How to intentionally and authentically show up and figure out how to do things that work best for you. And you've also learned the power of a professional mindset and just taking action in a direction that's scary to you. Everything you want right now is in front of you, or most likely in your phone. It's on you to believe it's possible and having the guts to chase it to make it happen. No one is going to make your creative dream happen for you. So keep your eyes on the prize, be persistent, and stay in the game. Your breakthroughs are on the horizon. They're going to come. Trust me. The podcast is going to be here to fuel your mind and creative grind along the way. My fellow side hustling trailblazer. Keep doing your thing. Big things are coming your way. PC fam, that's a wrap without the buffalo chicken with the 3-part Blaze Your Own Path series. I hope this lights a fire under your ass no matter where you are in your creative path. I put so much time. I spent like easily over a week just writing this and crafting this, and it's been in my head just brewing since the beginning of this year. And this series really means a lot to me. It's really important to me, and regardless if you become a student of mine, just that doesn't matter. I just hope you like really found something here to fuel you on your next path, the next season you're about to embark in. And I'd love to know your biggest takeaway, so please DM me or share it on your Instagram stories and tag me so I can connect with you. Also, if you are the kind of person who wants to be part of the coaching program, you want to work with me closely, and you feel like you need that extra dose of accountability and guidance to get to where you want to be, the Fall 2020 Side Hustlers Coaching Program just might be the perfect fit for you. So for me, I've learned that helping students find that next level of clarity and guiding them to take massive, uncomfortable action is what I specialize in to drive results and get people personal growth. So again, if this feels like it's a good fit for you during this season or maybe in 2021 and onward, go apply, go sign up, go learn more over at sidehustlerscoaching.com. I really look forward to getting a chance to be your coach. If this show has helped you anywhere along your creative grind, there are 2 ways you can support what we're building here. First off is by financially backing the show over at patreon.com/perspective podcast, like my family over at Iron Bean Coffee Company and Tony Minix do. With as little as your weekly cup of coffee per week, you can really help this show grow and tap into the value and the rewards that I kick back to you, like unlocking podcast episodes early, So just some of the things that you can do over there. And second is by subscribing and leaving a rating and review over on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Not only does it help the show climb the charts in the arts design category, but more importantly, it staples you in as a future listener of the week, like this week's listener of the week. And this one comes from my homie, CJ Amaya. He titles this one, Always Fire. He states, man, I'm always encouraged and motivated to take it to the next level after listening to an episode. I encourage you to start at episode 1 and binge this immediately. Ugh. Those are some hard episodes to listen to for me, but I digress. This content is always relatable and is the podcast you need to add to your schedule weekly. Today, I listened to episode 171 and it hit me hard. Right now, we're on the back end of quarantine, but this whole episode was encouraging and relatable. I'm in the middle of my DeLeon, my coach's course, and my mind is racing so much with ideas and things to do. But Scotty's encouragement to do one thing a day that moves the needle forward in your business helped me reset my mind. It has relieved the thought of trying to sprint toward my career goals. I can just jog it out and pace myself for this creative marathon. The work will be there tomorrow, so don't worry about how everyone else is running their race. Do what I can daily, and that's enough. Thanks, Scotty. CJ, I appreciate you, brother, and it's been a pleasure getting to be your coach in June as well as July. And I just know I really appreciate what you're doing and the effort that you put into making your own dreams possible as you blaze your own path. So as I sign off, I want to give my podcast editor, Anya Brennan, a huge shout out, as well as my executive assistant, Paige Garland, video specialist, Colton Bacher, social media coordinator, Hannah Schick, and Nick Jenkins of Bluka for all the dope theme music you hear on the show. As you finish off your week strong, I want to encourage you to keep showing up, keep putting in the work, and keep creating as you blaze your own path. You got this.